Welcome back to the 10 Questions podcast. Today's going to be a little bit different. Today we are not actually doing 10 questions. We're talking about Game of Thrones, which happens to be the worst show on HBO, but we have Jack Castle here, Mr. G also, who are both avid watchers of Game of Thrones, and a special guest, Jacob Selman.
How are you guys?
Fan of the show as well.
How you doing? Yeah, let me just clarify your statement about being the worst show. It's not the worst show whatsoever, and you're just uneducated and don't watch it.
But every Sunday.
Last time I checked, you watched the first 2 episodes and the most recent 2 episodes, right?
We watched the last 3 episodes. In the newest season.
It's 3 and 3, yeah, that's what he was saying.
So, but the thing with it that I feel is unnecessary at the show is it's a commitment. But, I'm with my friends, and we watch it, every Sunday, and it's been a thing. So, I'm only there because my friends are with me, but I'm brutally confused. I don't have the patience to sit through hour-long episodes.
Hour 22?
No, but I'm not gonna. And I tried watching the first season a couple times, and it just sucks.
All right, here's what I say to everyone that can't get in the first season of Game of Thrones. You gotta watch the first 2 seasons.
I agree.
First 2 seasons, that's 20 hours of Game of Thrones, and I
grind through it. It gets way more. It gets a lot better once you reach season 3. I think we can all agree that it gets a lot better anyway.
Pointless stuff.
I do not spend 20 hours doing pointless stuff. My life is full of productivity. I promise.
All right, so besides Charlie's lack of, culture, attention, ability to focus,
friendship,
let's get into what we thought about the most recent episode, which was the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah.
The Night King finally made his way to face Bran.
Yep.
And so what do we think?
So first of all, I'd like to put it out there, and I think it's a very honest opinion. When I first saw this Night King guy, he looks like a paler Darth Maul that joined the Blue Man Group, and he's not intimidating at all. I mean,
Okay, so you didn't find it intimidating that there's a battlefield of dead people, and he could reanimate them. That's not intimidating. Well, Charlie, your bar is pretty high, so I don't know. Maybe we'll leave Charlie. We'll leave Charlie out of the rest of this discussion for a bit. So Solomon, you're our guest today. What do you think?
I do gotta say there were points during the episode where I thought I was watching a Jason Bourne film because the camera angles and just the darkness and just the shaky cam. I was not a fan of that.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of the Arya in the library. That just kind of.
All right. So I will say at the beginning, seeing the battle line, and then the light, and then that level of darkness.
Yeah.
Even when the Dothraki go running across the battlefield, and then their swords fade out.
Melisandre lights them on fire.
Yeah, but seeing them hit this invisible wall, I thought the darkness was what created the tension, and the anticipation. Like you said, Arya in the library, right?
Yeah.
She is making her way from one side to the other side with these just dead people wandering around.
That was a cool scene, though. I thought that was a cool scene, but I do see where you're going with that, G. The whole suspense to it, especially with the fire sword thing or whatnot at the beginning. It's cool because you saw them slowly disappear. But first of all, military standpoint there, that's a stupid move. But secondly, there's a lot of things that were easy that I missed, and I'm sure people who avidly watch the show missed because the footage was very dark, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that could agree.
Here's the thing: I
don't think there was things people missed. I think the actual the footage, the battles, the things that were important were visible. I think it was purposely dark for a reason. Even when the army was approaching, you didn't see them until they were 10 feet away, and then they're there. And you get that reaction, the soldiers get that reaction. It was done for a purpose.
Yeah, the whole point is to build suspense. And the reason the Dothraki, you see them charge into the darkness and all their lights go, it's to show really what they're up against and, really how much of a challenge they're going to face, defending Winterfell.
Yeah, as you gotta say, with that scene with the dragons they were fighting in the sky, right? That was pretty hectic. But I guess when you look at it that way through the camera angles there on purpose, that makes sense because it's just complete chaos with the dragons fighting. I could see that, but it was difficult at points kind of to follow it myself. I think what was going on.
Well, I think there were a few scenes in the middle where it was just switching back and forth between a few different characters and just all hell was breaking loose, and it was kind of tough to follow. But I think that was intentional.
Can I ask a somewhat stupid question
Your
or
opinion
observation.
means
Probably not. But go ahead.
We expect that
I know
from
my
you,
opinion means
so-
nothing, but that. All right, what's the name of the kid who's in the wheelchair? I know he's
Bran.
related to Jon Snow, but
He's actually
what
not.
the hell was he?
Well, that's another cousin.
What the hell was he doing? He was there.
Well, that's a
and
big
he just,
question.
just
Here, let me tell you-
congratulations, he turned into a bunch of pigeons.
Let me tell you the backstory. Bran's the
Leave
three-eyed
the-
raven.
Yeah, I know he fell off of a roof, and I watched the first episode. You know, the things I do for love.
Yeah, that was when they met back
Got
up.
paralyzed. Now he can like talk to the Ice King.
This is why
He's
you
the
gotta watch the
three-eyed
show.
raven,
Keep
and the
with it.
whole thing behind him he has the memories of all the living.
The birds
So
were
that's
ravens,
why,
though.
Ravens. That's
Yeah.
why it's called
And
the
they call
three-eyed
them the
It's
raven.
called the
Raven.
three-eyed raven. So what he
Not the
does is
three-eyed pigeon.
he wargs into the ravens, and
Although there was a question, why was he like the battle's going on? He didn't offer any
Yep.
insight into
yep.
the
The
battle.
moron turned into a bunch of birds and flew away.
well,
Yes,
I agree.
and I think-
One of the big questions is what the hell was he doing for half the battle? He was just like warging.
He's
with
war.
his-
Yeah, that was a question I had. Is like, why was
Yeah.
he? He didn't do anything. And at the end, he basically lets Theon kill himself to redeem himself.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
really
I
stupid.
I see a huge connection with how Bran was acting in this episode with Doctor Strange. And have you guys seen Infinity War yet?
No.
Infinity War.
Oh,
yeah.
Infinity War. Yes.
No, no,
I
no,
thought you
no,
meant.
There's
I'm
Endgame.
sorry,
Endgame.
yeah,
No spoilers. Trust me, no spoilers.
Okay, you know in Infinity War how like Strange is talking about like those possibilities and stuff, and like how he's not giving
He's
anything
talking
away.
about the 14 million.
Yeah,
Oh,
whatever, like that.
yeah.
He's
One
not giving it.
possibility.
Yeah, like because if
That's
he did something away,
true.
then it would trigger a change, right? So
All
maybe
right.
Bran was.
Or
staying
he's
back
just
'cause he
playing
didn't
with his
wanna-
birds in a random
No,
field.
there's,
It's
there's
nice.
another school of thought, and so Bran survives the fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Littlefinger, it turns out, right, has this blade that he gives to the assassin.
Who's
So
Littlefinger?
Okay, we're not going to mute Charlie, but mute Charlie's mic.
This is Jack's podcast now.
Okay, Jack's podcast. So there's this dagger that turns that they're going to try to kill Bran with because he survived the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Bran gets that dagger back. It turns out it belonged to. It was Littlefinger's dagger. It's made out of not dragon glass, Valerian steel. And once he got it back, he gave it to Arya. If you guys remember,
I did see that.
Okay, but that was back a few seasons when you weren't watching, Charlie. So please, again, guys, mute this. But Arya has that Valerian steel dagger in the final scene.
Yeah.
Right. So Bran, if he's all-seeing, must have just took himself out of the equation, let the Night King come to him because he knew it was going to happen. Arya was going to attack him and kill him with that dagger that he gave her in the previous season.
That's nuts to
that's what I
think
said.
about, but like you could totally.
Well,
like,
if
tie
he
it to
sees
that.
and knows everything, right, then you can see that he saw that playing out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
totally.
Can he see also the future though, or is it just the?
No, I think it's just the past.
Just the
I think he's more memory, but
Yeah.
he's been
Yeah.
shown to be able to influence. They've been shown to influence
totally.
past events.
Yeah.
Well, the big thing with Bran is obviously, he holds, if you want, the key to the past. Like, he has all the memories, so that's really why they used him as bait for the Night King and the Gods would.
Because the Night King, if we're take him at his word, was just to, he's created to protect the children of the forest from man.
Right, yeah.
And Bran, I think, accelerates the process by exposing himself to the Night King in a vision. But the Night King, so there's this who is the Night King? Well, I think the Night King was just this protection policy gone bad. That's main goal, chief focus was to kill men and protect
Well, yeah, he wants the world in an ever-living
in the
darkness.
So it's like he was fulfilling his creation, his purpose of creation.
Yeah.
But so let's move on from that.
Well, we're on the top of a topic of Night King. Is it okay if I make a quick comment?
You already made your comment.
No,
about
but one thing I noticed when Jon Snow is running towards him and he summons the dead, he obviously does, this Night King guy probably doesn't have a lot of friends, so he was not he's not strong enough mentally to fight Jon Snow by himself, so he just had to revive a ton of people, and that caused more deaths. I think he's a wuss. I just figured I'd put that out there.
Okay.
Because what?
Yeah, Charlie, hot takes, Charlie. Most yeah.
I could be
So
Night
one of
King.
the questions I had it sort of dawned on me halfway through that so many characters almost needed to survive. What were your feelings when the final death count was in and all the major characters still made it through?
I don't know most of them.
Here's what I gotta say. I think the death count was kind of weak. I think I'm speaking
I
for
agree.
everyone on that.
I agree.
I think we were all expecting at least some more major supporting characters to die. I mean, I think the death count was weak. And to be honest, you know, I think we're all expecting these characters to be killed off at some point, but what's Cersei gonna do that? Like, I don't know.
Would you so you would have preferred if the Night King took a few more out as opposed to Cersei?
Yeah, I think so. Because I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I just think with all the buildup of the Night King at the beginning of the show,
Yeah,
like
totally.
it seems like at this point in the series or whatever, they're giving into what people want by not killing off main characters, and I think that's the problem right now that I see with the only fault that I see with the series right
I
now.
mean, one thing they did was they removed Jorah from the equation, so there's Tyrion doesn't have competition in terms of serving Daenerys.
Yeah.
But then you realize that, holy crap, there's still 4 hours of show left, 3 episodes, and it's Game of Thrones, not Fight the Night King. So the show is really still about recapturing who's going to rule the kingdom. And I think you do need all of those players. Are going to serve some purpose or another. You know, I think if Mor had died, so I came to at the end of the show, if Mor had died, then it's almost like Cersei really does have the upper hand. And then you have less characters now, even for the final 3 episodes. So think about it. It's also a TV show. There has to be those people who are going to play a major role. I look forward to seeing how those play out.
Yeah, that's the other point too, because I think that like people are so accustomed with the series to focus more on like the Game of Thrones aspects and not the White Walkers, because they've been like so like absent throughout the whole show, so they maybe want that like battle against Cersei or whatever to be so.
It's more like they've been in the back of everyone's head, because ever since season 1, we all know winter's coming, but then as you watch throughout this.
We apologize for Charlie.
Charlie just off in his own world. No, but what I mean is like you get so caught up in the whole politics. Game of Thrones definitely a political show in the sense of like the quest for power. But now that the Night King's present, people get through for a turn a bit.
Not anymore, though.
Well, a lot of people are saying Night King might come back. Which
I don't
Got shattered in the glass.
think at this point. I don't think they can, because you need one episode to sort of regather yourself after the battle.
Yeah.
Then you need the moment, like the second episode's like the approaching the climax, right? So you're marching on King's Landing, and then that third and final episode is going to be the fallout, right? The battle and the fallout.
Yeah.
And don't forget, there's this Golden Company that has been added to the show.
Yeah.
I still think the interaction between the Golden Company commander and Cersei being upset that they don't have elephants, those little details we sometimes miss in the show. Is this guy more honorable than just a paid for a hire mercenary? Is he going to see her for what she is? If it's just about the gold, then I don't know, because the Northern Army has been decimated. So that aspect of it for me, like I'm looking forward in the future to see how they build up the army. Like where does the army for the North?
I want to know where they're getting their people from, because I mean, obviously, as it stands right now, they got like 25 people in all of Winterfell.
Yeah, and a few.
Dothraki are all just dead.
Yeah.
12,000 Dothraki.
they
You have
got
half the Unsullied army.
Yeah.
Decimated.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is Grey Worm still alive? Do we know?
Grey
It's
Worm's still
confirmed?
alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Grey Worm's still alive. We know Ghost is still alive.
Do we know
Dragons?
Ghost is still alive?
Yeah, it's in the trailer for next
Is there
episode.
any dragons?
Well, we don't know how many dragons left. Is it just
I'm
the one?
pretty sure
at the
we
end?
got all.
No,
Well,
because
one-
the one
They
we
say
do.
there's 2 left in the peanut gallery.
Yeah, we have
in
some.
the back.
There is too.
We have a couple extra people in the
She has
studio.
people in Marines still that she can bring over.
That's true.
Thomas says there's people in the Marines. They
I was waiting for you to get caught up on that.
Not the Marines.
Not the U.S. Marines.
Oh my God. Oh brother. And then what happened? Did Dorne cease to exist? I mean, like there's also Dorne, so I don't know
Yeah.
anything with the South.
What about that guy who, I'm sorry if I don't know his
that
name.
guy.
No, but he wears like the samurai helmet and he's like very good at fighting.
Oh, Grey Worm.
Yeah, that's Grey Worm.
Okay.
Samurai.
But he's not a samurai.
He's pretty cool.
He is pretty dope.
Yeah,
That's
he is
right.
pretty cool.
All right, so one more thing I want to talk about. What's going to happen between Jon and Daenerys, or Aegon Targaryen and Daenerys? Now,
I
right?
think
So-
Daenerys is just like her father. She's Mad King. She's like the Mad Queen. That's what I think is going to
Yeah.
happen. Because I'm just like, when you see that conversation last episode with how, when Jon Snow said that
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah, totally.
she was like, she completely was like, you know what? I don't care that
Yeah.
I'm your aunt, and then you're my nephew, whatever. And she just went straight to like, he actually has a claim to the throne. Now.
Right. Yeah.
And I was
I
like,
mean,
oh.
when we saw that, it wasn't even like,
Yeah.
wow, this is so crazy. It's like,
Let's
well,
just forget
now,
about the
now he's got
incest.
the main claim, so
Yeah.
I get
Yeah, but you understand, like, so, but Targaryens only Targaryens can make other Targaryens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's something weird going on there.
I'm gonna bring the science with it too, though. Like you look at that whole lineage
Although-
and how it's all incest. Like she definitely has the possibility of being kind of.
Yeah, there's been some things about is she pregnant?
Wait a
That's
minute.
insane.
So if Targaryens can only make Targaryens, are they just just strictly ancestral?
Well, the question then becomes,
Yeah.
but Targaryen made
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow, right? So there's a question there. I don't know. He seems to have a pretty good. I don't know. That I will say that part did confuse me.
his friend's alive, right? The
Oh, his friend. Yeah, that guy.
Sam, I think Sam made it. Yeah.
completely useless, but
Okay.
like somehow he was just chilling on the battlefield, like
I hate Sam.
hysterical.
I mean, he literally is just sitting on the battlefield, like crying.
yeah, he's
so-
laying down, and
I
I'm like,
mean,
why isn't he getting like
He's almost as bad
boomsticks?
as the Hound, where everyone's gonna be like,
The Hound
come
was
on, man, snap to it."
The Hound
But, like,
did finally break out of
Yeah,
his fear of
I mean-
fire, and I think that's
yeah.
important. So Sam's alive because he still has a role to play, right?
I think here's what it comes down to: we're all waiting for a Clegane wolf. I mean, they're going down south. We got both Cleganes alive.
That is right. That
Where's
is-
Clegane?
I'm not gonna be
We've
surprised
been
if
waiting
they
for
do
this
that.
for like over a season at
Yes,
least.
and then the Hound did
Yeah,
say to his
I mean,
brother
we're
that who's coming for you.
Yeah.
So there was that tension created that the Mountain's going to play a role in this. It's going to be pretty cool. I think it's going to be a very intense 3 episodes. I think unfortunately Game of Thrones and Endgame coming out on the same. This episode coming out on the same weekend, sort of the Game of Thrones took a back seat. But listen, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, it's a great show.
No, it's
It's
not.
a great binge.
Don't give me that you watched like the first episode and you,
Yeah.
you didn't like it.
It's horrible.
You were
Compared to
really
Charlie.
confused what's going on.
It's not worth your time. I'm just putting that out there.
That just shows a lack of IQ.
If you guys also want to put a GoFundMe page to get Charlie off this podcast, please make
Find
that.
someone else.
Yeah, and if you have suggestions for an upcoming episode, please leave comments in the comment section below, and we'll see you next time on 10 to 10 Questions podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for coming,
you.
Jacob, by the way.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you
thanks
guys.
And everyone
Good
else
show,
that's in the
guys.
studio.
And the 3 silent people watching the show. All right, guys. Later.